Get ready for sports news and entertainment. All right here, your 7 minutes with Simmons starts right now.
Nets were absolutely filled last night around the GOJHL. Arena maintenance staff are going to have to start changing those guys out. The pegs are probably destroyed. 5 games and 29 goals last night in the GOJHL. We're going to break them all down right here on episode 77. Welcome back to the show, guys. Happy to have you here. All of you GOJHL fans, it means the world that you come to my podcast and listen to me rant about a couple of games in the GOJHL last night, and then we'll take a peek at tonight. But like I said, 5 games, 29 goals, an entertaining slew as we continue into our season opening weekend for the GOJHL. And last night, Friday, was entertaining to say the least. Some big-time teams looking to improve upon seasons last year. Some teams with brand new faces finding success early here in the season. Some rookies also getting on the score sheet. Lots of things to like last night. And for another team who struggled last year, finds a first victory in their own building. Love to see stuff like that. So we're going to break them all down. 5 games, and I think we're going to start in Port Colborne. At the Valet Health and Wellness Center, the Sailors find a big-time victory, and they get it from a big-time frame up front. A third round selection of the Kitchener Rangers in the most recent draft. This guy was huge, and not just physically, but also on the score sheet. It was Ian Robinson leading the way last night for the Sailors. He gets his first, second, and third GOJHL goals in a hat-trick performance on home ice on 32 shots. The Sailors take one 4-2 over the Brantford Titans. The Titans had 2 goals in that first period. Couldn't really find a way to claw back, though. Offensively, they were stumped following those 2. Port Colborne started to tilt the ice in that second period, and there was no way for the Titans to pull back momentum. Port Colborne looked great. Their forecheck was strong. The Titans just on their heels in their own zone. There was nowhere for those defenders to play outlet passes. There was just nowhere to go, and Port Colborne did a great job of sealing those lanes, and as a result, were given way more opportunities offensively. They had 32 shots to Brantford's 21, and the Titans just struggling defensively leads as a domino effect up the ice. They just didn't have any opportunities. And when they did, fantastic performance by the Port Colborne Sailors netminder last night. He played fantastic. And, I think we're going to see him play pretty strong, for the whole season. I liked what I saw from JD Lowe. He had 21 shots against last night, led in the 2 goals for a 2 goals against average, .905 save percentage. But he's got a big presence in between the pipes for Port Colborne. I see him being dangerous for that team and limiting high danger goals, in those high danger scoring chances for other teams. He's just so big. His pads cover up the entire post to post frame, and the area in the crease is basically clogged. I mean, he is an absolute big body in between the pipes. He helped them get it done. Brantford falls to 0-1 as Port Colborne takes their first victory of the season on home ice, as we will take a trip across the southern Niagara region and visit the St. Catharines Falcons at the Seymour Hannah SEC, as the Falcons, they take one 3-2 over the Pelham Panthers over another Niagara team in Pelham, who had a fantastic start to the preseason. I was thinking this team was going to go undefeated in the GOJHL regular season, and they have a tough matchup in their first game, the St. Catharines Falcons being the reigning Eastern Conference champions from last season, going all the way to the Sutherland Cup finals. They got a lot of players with a lot of pedigree, a lot of experience, and those players showed up last night. Trace Adeur, 15 seconds into the game, he gets the Falcons on the board, and Petrovsky and Sam Lockyer follow it up for 3, and Pelham with 2 fall short as the Falcons take one on home ice. 1 for 4 on the power play go the Falcons. 1 for 3 were the Pelham Panthers. Not too bad. They're 33 and 25% respectively for each team. The Pelham squad could have asked for maybe a couple more shots to try and challenge the Falcons netminder, but otherwise a very entertaining game. Both teams with strong performances, and Pelham back to the drawing board. We'll see if they can find one in their home opener this weekend, as we'll take a peek at a team, as I mentioned in the kind of the intro for this episode, a team that has a cast of new faces, didn't really know what to expect this season. And I guess victory's the answer. The Elmira Sugar Kings with 6 goals last night take one at the Steve Kerr Memorial Complex over the Listowel Cyclones. They had 40 shots. They were 2 for 6 on the power play and totally shut out the Listowel Cyclones, who went 0 for 6. They had 26 shots. This is a team that's always strong in the West. Expect big things from the Listowel Cyclones. And they just came up empty-handed last night. An Elmira team who lost some big pieces from last season, some of those leading GOJHL point mans, those big-time goal scorers. And, with a team that's a little bit unproven and, with some fresh faces, that's a fantastic result for them. 6 goals feeding into that 29 total from last night. Bunch of barn burners. My God, goaltenders probably getting sunburns on their necks. But Elmira, nevertheless, big-time performance for them. They improved to 1-0 on the early going. In St. Mary's, we'll take a look at the Lincolns, who just on fire last night. A team with something to prove this year. Lost 6 games last season. They're looking to make a statement. We wanted to go further than we did. They lost in the Western Conference Finals last season, and this is a statement from them. 60 shots, 7 goals. They scored 28 seconds into the game and dominated the rest of that 60 minutes at the Pyramid Rec Complex. 2 goals for Vortman, 2 goals for Lincoln Moore. Chase McQueen Spence had a goal and 3 assists for 4 points on the night as St. Mary's gets their big-time producers of the season active and just filling the net in that one. They went 2 for 4 on the power play. Just didn't give up a whole lot, on the defensive side of things. Sarnia, with their second consecutive night struggling offensively, but also defensively, they're in shambles right now. 0-2. The other night, they lost 9-1 over the Strathroy Rockets, and here they are again, giving up 7 goals on the road. So tough for Sarnia. They're going to have to figure out what's going on there. That's 16 goals against in 2 games here to start the season as Sarnia falls to 0-2. Just 25 shots last night, and offensively on the power play, nothing doing. They went 0 for 5. So some things to figure out for the Sarnia Legionnaires and for St. Mary's, putting the league on notice. 60 shots for 7 goals as they look lethal here in their first game of the GOJHL season. And then we'll, for the final game last night, take a peek inside the Mayfield Rec Complex. The Caledon Bombers take one 4-0 over the Welland Junior Canadians. This one was a tight one by the metrics. 39 shots for Caledon, 34 for the Welland Junior Canadians. They just couldn't find one. They couldn't buy one. On the power play, they were 0 for 4, and in regulation, donuts right across the board. The Bombers get 3 in that first period, grabbing momentum. They'll get an extra one in that third period. Looks like an empty net goal there from Michael Pope, the Waterloo native rookie as well. So big time start for him. Nice to get that first marker in your first game. Gets the monkey off your back a little bit and kind of gives you some of that confidence. Whether it's an empty netter or not, you got to love that. And for Caledon, great performance. They were 0 for 2 on the power play, so some work in the video room required for the Bombers. But they still get a big victory. The B-22s were dropping them last night as Caledon takes that one. 29 goals, like I said. So high-scoring affairs, some blowouts, some not. Couple of tight games, 3-2 and 4-2, and then we had 6-0, 7-1, and 4-0. So lots of goals last night as we'll turn the page on Friday. Tonight, Saturday, in the GOJHL, what can you expect? In Brantford, the Air Centennials coming off a big-time overtime victory on Friday night over the Hamilton Kilty Bees. They'll look to, that was Thursday. On Thursday night over the Hamilton Kilty Bees, I'll see what they could do against a Brantford Titans team who struggled offensively last night against a Port Colborne team. They'll be looking to find more offense, and Air will look to do exactly what they did on home ice, this time away from home. 1 p.m. puck drop this afternoon in a matinee. Interesting. We'll see if I can get this episode out in time. Now, in Cambridge, the Redhawks, their first game of the season, the home opener, they'll welcome the reigning Eastern Conference champions, the St. Catharines Falcons. to town as the Falcons look to stay hot here in the early going. They'll take on Cambridge. That's a fun building to watch a hockey game. If you have a chance, catch it. 7 p.m. pup drop in Cambridge, or, always on Flow Hockey if you feel like it. Fort Erie and the Meteors looked for their home opener here and potentially a big-time first victory. They got some intriguing rookies, an intriguing lineup as well. I think Fort Erie's poised to make a jump up in that playoffs. We'll see if they can find some more success. Caledon Bombers, the matchup for them. Caledon looking to find more offense, and they're going to need it against the Fort Erie team that's strong defensively. 7 p.m. puck drop there at the Fort Erie Leisureplex in Kamoka. The Kings and their freshly minted 2025 OHL draft pick Owen Miniotas will host the Waterloo Siskin. 7:15 puck drop there. It's a 519 Sports Spotlight game, so be sure to catch all the highlights tomorrow on the 519 Sports YouTube and Instagram pages. Always fun to see those Spotlight games. They do such a great job. It's like hockey night in the GOJHL. It's like hockey night in Ontario. I love it. In Caledonia, tonight, the absolutely trailblazing St. Mary's Lincolns will bring their 7-goal performance in to the Haldeman County Caledonia Center as the Corvairs will look to find a big-time victory on home ice in their opener against a team, as I mentioned, who found a ton of offensive success last night as they took that one 7-1. They're going to have to slow down some big-time offensive producers there, but Caledonia with a great team. That should be a fantastic matchup tonight. 7:30 puck drop. Catch it on Flow Hockey. I'll be giving you the call. And in Strathroy, the Rockets look to continue in orbit. These guys blasted off the other night. 9-1 performance. They took one in huge fashion. Like it was unreal. They gave up 1 goal in the first and then 9 unanswered. We'll see if they can do the same thing. They're going to need all the help they could get. The reigning Sutherland Cup champions will visit them on home ice as the Chatham Maroons look to get their season underway. 7:30 puck drop there. That's going to do it for tonight and last night in the GOJHL. Guys, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say. I don't bite, man. I like to talk with you guys. Please leave me something down below. Be sure to catch all the games tonight and hit that bell, subscribe, like, comment for more episodes here coming up in the near future. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.